The National Senior Certificate or NSC is a high school diploma and is the main school leaving certificate in South Africa. This certificate is commonly known as the matriculation certificate, as grade 12 is the matriculation grade. The NSC, previously known as the Further Education and Training Certificate or FETC, replaced the senior certificate with effect from 2008 and was phased in starting with grade 10 in 2006. Structure of the National Senior Certificate. The school leaving certificate presently awarded is the National Senior Certificate. Pupils study at least 7 subjects, including 2 compulsory official South African languages, either mathematics or mathematical literacy, life orientation, and 3 elective subjects. Subjects are all taken on the same level. There is no higher of standard grade as in the past. The official pass grade is 30%. The mean mark in any subject is usually about 55. Only a small proportion of candidates score an A in any subject. A further 8 to 15% are likely to gain a B, and about 20 to 25% achieve a C grade. The National Senior Certificate is a group certificate and records an aggregate mark level system: level 7 to 80-100%, level 6 to 70-79%, level 5 to 60-69%, level 4 50-59%, level 3 40-49%, level 2 30-39%, level 1 to 0-29%. The Department of Basic Education has responsibility for general educational policy to be implemented by 9 provincial education departments and private providers such as the Independent Examinations Board. There are 9 provincial examination boards and 3 independent boards, of which the IEB is the biggest. The IEB operates on a national level, catering primarily for independent schools. Structure of the National Senior Certificate. Subjects: learners study at least 7 subjects, 4 compulsory and at least 3 electives. All subjects are written on 1 grade only and are no longer written on higher of standard grade. Not all schools offer the full range of elective subjects listed here. Each school may offer subjects specific to its academic orientation. For example, agriculture schools offer the agriculture-orientated subjects, whereas technical schools offer the practical and mechanical-orientated subjects. Group A. Fundamentals: 2 official languages, home language first, additional language, mathematics or mathematical literacy, life orientation. Group B. Electives: at least 3 subjects from the following: accounting, agricultural management practices, agricultural sciences, agricultural technology, art, business studies, civil technology, computer applications technology 80%, consumer studies 75%, dance studies 95%. Design 70%, dramatic arts 80%, economics 65%, electrical technology 60%, engineering, graphics and AMP design 70%, English, advanced program English, geography 84%, history 78%, hospitality studies 71%, information technology 86%. Life Sciences 75%, Advanced Program Mathematics 70%, Mechanical Technology 70%, Music 68%, Physical Science 60%, Religion Studies 70%, Second Additional Language 85%, Third Additional Language 71%, Visual Arts 90%, Life orientation as learning area. Life orientation has been introduced into the senior high school phase for the first time as an examination subject. LO is a broad learning subject that covers non-academic skills needed in life. LO is examined, marked and moderated internally and comprises the following sections: World of Work, helping learners find guidance in their choice of career and prepare them for the working world. Health education. This sections includes sex education, HIV, AIDS talks, pregnancy, etc. Physical education involves physical exercise and training. It is done on a separate basis but eventually forms part of low mark. Religious education. Each South African school decides which religion to adhere to. Learners may be exempted from these classes. In practice, this means that learners may be exempted from, example, the Bible studies class, but are compelled to attend the religious studies class. Citizenship and responsibility. This section teaches learners about the rights and their duties as citizens. Assessment. There are three types of subjects: general subjects and end-of-year examination, 75% of the total mark; portfolio, 25% of the total mark; practical subjects and end-of-year examination, 50% of the total mark; portfolio, 25% of the total mark; practical component, 25% of the total mark. Language subjects and end-of-year examination, 50% of the total mark; portfolio, 25% of the total mark; oral examination, 25% of the total mark. Continuous assessment includes all the tests, examinations, tasks, activities, orals and projects done throughout the year. Matric results are usually out of 400 marks. The 5% language compensation. Language compensation is described by several sources. To the final mark is added the language compensation, which is 5% of the mark attained by the candidate for all non-language subjects. For candidates whose mother tongue is not English or Afrikaans, the 5% compensates learners for the disadvantage suffered by these candidates being instructed in a language that is not the mother tongue. Quote, the compensation applies to learners whose first language is neither English nor Afrikaans and who offer an African language as their first language. They receive an additional 5% on the non-language subjects. The measure was first introduced in 1999 by the South African Certification Council. Quote, Dr. Sizwe Mabizela, chairperson of Council Umalusi, has provided further explanation. This is the most misunderstood concept in this country. In terms of the policy on language compensation, learners who offer an African language as home language and do not offer Afrikaans or English as home language qualify for a 5% language compensation on the mark they have obtained in a non-language subject. For example, a learner who obtains a mark of 0 out of 300 will obtain 5% of 0 for language compensation. A learner who obtains 10 out of 300 will receive 5% of 10, which is 0.5 marks. For language compensation, a learner who obtains 100 out of 300 marks will obtain an additional 5 marks for language compensation. This kind of compensation has some impact on pass rates, but does provide significant impact at the upper end of the scale, affecting those applying for admission to university. For example, a qualifying learner obtaining 95% would receive 95 by 1.05 equals 99.75%. A learner obtaining 40% would receive 40 by 1.05 equals 42.0%. University entrance. In addition to minimum grades required in each subject, universities either set their own entrance tests and/or use the national benchmark tests. To study for a bachelor's degree at a South African university requires that the applicant has at least an NSC endorsed by Umalosi, with a pass of 30% in the chosen university's language of learning and teaching, as well as a level 4 or higher in the following list of designated 19 credit subjects: accounting, agricultural sciences, business studies, dramatic arts, economics, engineering, graphics and design, geography, history, consumer studies, computer applications technology, information technology, languages, life sciences, mathematics, mathematical literacy, music, physical sciences, religion studies, visual arts.